You want to get ahead in your career, but there are certain things that if you say them could actually adversely impact you. In today's video, I'm going to give you 5 phrases that could be holding your career back. Let's go. Now, the first thing you want to avoid saying is, back in my day, we had it worse. Now, when might this come up? This might come up if you're talking to one of your newer or more junior colleagues, and perhaps they're sharing with you something that they don't like or they think isn't done the right way. But by saying this, what are you actually accomplishing? What you're basically saying is that today's pain is justified by the pain that someone experienced in the past. And while that might be how you truly feel about it, really it doesn't accomplish anything, it doesn't help you, and it doesn't help you forge bonds with people that ideally would be your allies today and in the future for your career. The next phrase you need to wipe from your vocabulary is, "We have always done it this way." Now, why is this a phrase that is harmful? In fact, a lot of people say it, so what's the problem? The problem is it shows that you are unable to evolve. In today's day and age, with so much disruption, so much technological advancements, it's really important that you show a willingness to adapt. But saying this phrase is basically identifying that you are anything but. So it's important to remove this from your vocabulary because you might be seen as someone who is not able to adapt, isn't open to new, and perhaps better ideas. The next phrase that you need to remove from your vocabulary is, that person didn't really mean what they said. Now, when might this happen? This could happen if someone's coming up to you and they're voicing concern about something that someone said to them. So perhaps you're in a leadership role, or you're in a senior position, or you're just someone's colleague. If they come to you and they're voicing concern about something and you say that, what you are doing is you are minimizing their pain or their concern. I mean, essentially, they're telling you they're not comfortable with something and you're discrediting it. You're saying, what you feel, that's not actually what happened here. They didn't mean it. You're wrong. You don't want to do this for a few reasons. One, you don't want that person to feel like you don't believe them, you're not interested in hearing what they have to say, but you're also limiting the future things they might be willing to share with you. By you immediately discrediting them, how inclined are they to be to reach out to you in the future? The answer is not very. This next one is a huge one. That's not in my job description. The reality is people who get ahead typically go above and beyond. They do things that aren't necessarily in the job description. So saying this is something that could be seen negatively, especially if you are someone who is interested in advancing and taking on an increased scope within your organization. Because basically, if you're telling your boss one day, I want to move into bigger and better things, and the next day you're saying, that's not in my job description, what you're basically saying is you're only willing to do extra things if you are promoted. Now, I understand feeling that way, and I understand feeling like, well, I'm doing my job. But the reality is, if you want to get ahead, you're probably going to have to go above and beyond. You're going to have to show people that you're capable of that next step often before you are given that next role. So it is very much so a career-limiting phrase to say, that's not in my job description. If you want to get ahead, be willing to go above and beyond and do that little bit extra. That might be the difference, and that might be what propels you into that next step in your career. The next thing that you want to remove from your vocabulary is, can you email that or can you send that to me tonight? Now, basically what you're asking for there is for someone to do extra work outside of working hours. Now, I especially recommend this if you're a manager, right? Setting that deadline is unrealistic. It's infringing upon their time away from work, and you're increasing the likelihood that this person becomes disenfranchised and ultimately maybe leaves the company and leaves your team. Now, if you're a peer-to-peer, what you're doing there is you're basically asking someone, again, to do something outside of working hours, which makes it like, why would they want to do that? They might be less inclined to want to partner with you in the future, and they might think less of you because you're infringing upon their time and you don't think a lot of their ability outside of work, or you don't think a lot of their time outside of work. Once again, this is the type of phrase that's going to make people not want to partner with you, not want to work with you, and definitely won't be you ingratiating yourself to them. Now, this video is done, but assuming you do all these things, you probably want to know, like, how can I get a raise? How can I talk to my boss in a way that is likely to end with me getting a raise? This video here, I made it just for you specifically, so you can watch this video, implement these tactics, and get a pay increase with your current boss. Go watch this video. It's going to help.